This is Bonnie Jean, PostMuse, as I'm known on the internet, and this is FlossTube number 2. First of all, I have to thank all of the people who subscribed, who commented, who favorited. It was just amazing. I couldn't believe it when I woke up and I found so many comments and so many views. It was just so heartwarming. I thank you very, very, very much. I was blown away. And I was most particularly excited about a specific comment about chairs, and I'll talk about that a little bit further on in the video. So, the first thing I wanted to talk about today is showing off a gift and then some Black Friday purchases that I made that I couldn't resist. So the first thing is, this was a little gift. It's called a stitch hopper. And what you do is you take the little needle, put that at the beginning of your count, and then count over with the second needle and put that in. Like I usually count 10, and then put that in. Then you can move the first needle, and then you can count how many stitches you need to make, and you mark it, and it has this cute little bauble on it. It's just adorable. I absolutely love it. It's called the Stitch Hopper. I don't know, maybe they're called something else. It's from Etsy. The name of the designer is My Big Toe, and I will put her Etsy address in the section below. But this has been wonderful. I've been using it all week. I love it. It's a very nice gift. And then on to my Black Friday purchases. Stitch New England is my local needlework shop, and they're about 2.5 hours away from me. So it's not super local, but it's local enough. And Pam, the owner, does a Zoom video stitch along, and it's called Fancy Folk. And the spaces have been pretty limited, but I did manage to get in because I have been dying to stitch this Nora Corbett, Miss Spider. Once upon a time, I was terrified of spiders. I used to pay my sisters to kill spiders for me. $5 a spider. This is back in the 1970s. Nowadays, I know better. I know spiders are good for us, and spiders need to be taken care of just like any other one. I'm still not thrilled if I find them in my bed or in my shower, but I will catch them and release them out in the wild, or I'll just release them someplace else in the house that I don't go to very often. But we need our spiders, so we need all of our critters, except maybe termites and mosquitoes and ticks. And I'm going to be stitching on the called for fabric, which is, this is Ada. It's called Water Lily. It's 16 count. I put different lights on because I wanted to get better colors, but I'm not sure if that shows. It's a very pretty palish green. It's very stiff. It should be a really quick stitch. And I ended up going with Weeks Dye Work mascara for the black because I cannot stand stitching in DMC 310. For whatever reason, it never lays flat. No matter how hard I try, it knots. It just doesn't feel good. So I decided I would try the mascara. It looks like it's a nice black. It's not super variegated. It's just a teensy tiny bit. And when I stitched the main part of her dress, my plan is to outline the main part of the dress and then kind of stitch, not straight up and down or back and forth, but kind of in a swirl. So in case it is more variegated, I don't get stripes, because I don't want stripes in this. So I might stitch kind of and fill in the dress with kind of a swirly stitch so that it goes all over the place, so it doesn't look striped. It just looks like it has shadows and so forth. I'm really looking forward to that. The first one is in, I think it's the 4th Thursday of the month, so it'll be the 4th Thursday of December. And I won't even, I'll probably start it. I'll probably get a few stitches in just so that I know I can sit there and stitch, and I'm not going to be trying to measure and count and do all that. But I'm very excited about doing a Zoom class and actually having people to stitch with. That'll be fun. I have a little bit of a cold, which is the reason for the scarf, and I am sniffling, and my eyes are a little bit puffy. But it's the season. 'Tis the season. So the next little thing that I bought, there's a series of 12 of these, and they're not necessarily related to months, because I have this obsession with things that have months on them. They're by Little House Needleworks, and it's called Sheep Virtues. So I got joyfulness, simplicity, wisdom, and kindness. And there are 6 others in the series, and I plan to eventually get them all, but these were all that were available on the Black Friday sale. So that's what I bought. And there is one called Faith, and I plan to change the word faith to empathy, because I think that's a virtue that we tend not to honor so much these days. So I plan to change that one to empathy. And I won't really assign them. I probably will assign them to a different month, but I'm not sure what virtue will go with what month. But I'm really looking forward to it. They're awful cute, and they look like very quick stitches, and I love sheep. There's a postage stamp from like the 1950s that has sheep on it. It's my favorite postage stamp ever. I love it. And then my last purchase is a monthly one. So this is an older series, 2014 I think, is when it was released. And no, 2013 actually. And it's by Stoney Creek, and it's the bird of the month. And I love chickadees, so even if I don't stitch January, even if I just leave the January out and not bother doing this, I'm not sure how many of these I can get, how many of these charts I can get. I did look it up just very quickly, and it seems like maybe they're out of print. I might not be able to get all 12 months, but I'm going to give it a try. And what I really love about it is that it has doohickeys right there and up there. Those are magnets, and it's a magnetic board that you can see that is. I'm sure you can find these pretty much anywhere. And then the magnets are just like little decorative doodads. I don't particularly like this one. This is a snowflake and a tree branch, and it looks weird to me. But I went on to the Stoney Creek site, and they've got a gazillion different doodads that you could get. I'll probably just get regular old snowflakes, just not that one down there. But I love this. I think it's going to be a fairly quick stitch. That chickadee probably will take a little bit of time, but I love it. I don't think I'll do it on white, because stitching all of that white on white will drive me nuts. I will probably stitch it on probably a very, very pale blue. But again, I haven't started it yet, and I haven't decided if I want to go out and purchase all of those charts. I just have to go and look and see if I can find them still. So that's it for my my show off. I think they call it stash on FlossTube, but that's what I got for Black Friday, and as a little gift. I just recently had a birthday, so that was a little gift for me. And on to my winter stitches. So all of the autumn stitches were put away. I'm not going to be working on those again until next September. And I started my winter stitches, and I have one finish. It was an easy one. So this is the Pine Mountain Special Delivery Kit. It comes with the pillow, and you just do the little design and stuff it inside the. You don't even have to. You just stuff it inside the pillow, and it's just this is 12 cents for the 12th month. I love these little things. So he's all done. That Santa's all done. He was my one finish. So we're only a few days into the month, but I did get a lot of stitches put in this last week, which was pretty good. I'm really impressed that I am able to stitch so much more having this focus of seasons. And I use my stitch hopper for the next one. This is the Kooler classic charts. This is the winter cat. Kitty cat's down there. And my focus is going to be right now just the wreath up here. So this is one of the first stitches I've ever done where I have pages and pages and pages. There's 6 pages of chart for this. So this is all I've got done so far. It is, this is, you can't see the sparkle, but it is sparkly fabric. It just has a little tiny bit of sparkle to it. And it's just plain white Aida. I think it's actually off-white. It is off-white. But it's going to be cute. And I was thinking, well, if I can get a page done in the next, you know, until January, February, March. So I stopped stitching winter in March, on March 1st. So in January and February, rest of December, January and February, if I can get one page done, that's great. And then I started thinking, okay, if you get one page done, that's 6 years before you finish this chart. But I'm not going to think about that. I'm just going to stitch. That's all I'm going to do. And the next one, so the next one is in my Sheltering Tree series. This is the winter one by Annie B's Folk Art. And I will be honest, I started this in 2019 and I then put it away and hadn't done anything since. So this, I just pulled it out. This was not stitched in the last week. So this is what I got done in 2019. The little fox and some of the tree. It's just gorgeous. This is a really nice stitch. I don't know why I didn't pick it up again. It's not a hard stitch. Once you get the tree in, everything else branches off of that. So it's not really a hard stitch, but yeah, I hope that's going to definitely be finished this winter. So it'll be on display next winter. I might even finally finish. I mean, I might get the whole thing done and framed. And then the next one is Snapperland, which that's the series that you have four little, it's by Ben Creek, and you have 4 little designs that you stitch into a larger frame. And I started the frame. So I started the frame, and the saying on the bottom of this frame is, "One kind word can warm 3 winter months." How lovely is that? I just think that's so beautiful. And this fabric, it's called Damsel. I don't remember. I really need to get better at that. So I just started the frame. The frame will go all the ways across, and then you put the 4 little squares in there, in between them. This is going to stitch up quickly. This will be a very easy stitch. I won't have any trouble at all getting this one to stitch up this winter. So it's called Snapperland because it comes with these little black snaps. Oh, you can't see it. Maybe you can see it. You're supposed to stitch the snaps onto the finished product. I think they kind of look weird, so I probably won't stitch them on. I like doodads, but that's going a little far. That's a little bit weird, snaps. So I probably won't put those on. I won't be putting those on. It's not my cup of tea, those snaps. And then my next one that I actually started in 2019, this was again in 2019, was the Cricket Collection Seasons. This one's winter. And last week I showed you the autumn one that I was doing on that dark brown fabric. I made a decision that I am going to take out the itty bitty tiny bit of stitching that I did, which was not a lot, but it took me forever and the stitches look crappy. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to save that brown fabric for something that's much smaller, and I'm going to restart that autumn one next year. But in 2019, I got a really good start on the winter. So you can see it there. Let me see if I can, so we don't get light shining through it. I elected to do the snow in a sparkly, I think it's pronounced Etoile. It's a DMC floss, and it's quite sparkly. I have actually more sunshine today than I did last week when I did my video. This is a blast. This was a blast to stitch. I will definitely be finishing this up, and I will frame it. Speaking of framing, so I am teaching myself how to frame, to mount and frame things myself. Part of my reasoning for that is probably ridiculous. My backs are horrible. I never pay attention to what the backs look like. And one time I did have something framed professionally. When I got it there, the woman who took the project in commented on how, oh, you should pay more attention on how the backs of your projects look. I was like, what, lady? I'm paying you to do this. I don't need your criticism. So ever since then, I thought, maybe I'll just figure out. I'm clever and crafty, and I can figure out how to frame something myself. I'm sure I can. And then my next one is my postcard flower. So this is December, and the flower is, oh, I can't remember. It must be it is poinsettia. Is it poinsettia or poinsettia? I think it's poinsettia. All of the other months have the name of the flower on the stitch. This one doesn't. All I got done on that is just a little tiny bit of the frame. But this one I'm going to work on quite a bit next week, because I really want to get that up and then get started on January. And then I have my square dance. So it's this one down here. I really love these vintage ornaments. They really speak to me. If I had all the money in the world, I would have a nice big vintage tree. This is what I got started on that. Just a little bit of the month. I am thoroughly enjoying this whole square dance thing, and I think I have found fabric that I'm going to use to make these really cool standing boards, and I will be able to use the same board for all 12 months. So yeah, I'm very impressed with how much stitching I actually did get done this week. And then we are on to the focus of my thing today. So I had gotten this kit. So I spend too much time on Facebook browsing through cross stitch groups and stuff, and somebody posted a before and after picture of her project. She did it all in one piece of fabric, and she posted a picture of it before back stitching and after back stitching, and it was remarkable how different it looked. We all know that when it's back stitched. And I thought, oh my God, chairs, I must have it. So I went on to eBay, and I probably spent way too much money, but I got it. And it came in. This is, again, sparkly fabric. I think, oh, I do. This one, it's 16 count, white and silver Aida. I got it from 123 Stitch. So this is what I've got done so far. You can't see the sparkle, and it looks like it has blue blue dye in it, but it does not. I have to tell you, stitching the border is a blast. I really enjoy doing that. So over here is the window for the winter. You can see this. Oh, do I have it upside down? I do. It goes this way. You have to be really careful like that. So, no, I did have it right. I think the camera's just messing me up. So I'm doing the window and the frame, and it's a joy. And the reason that the chairs are so important to me, it started back when I was a little tiny girl, and my great-grandmother had a chair that was a child-sized chair. It's a Morris chair, and the family legend has it that her grandfather made it for her. Well, I used to sit in that chair and watch Lawrence Welk with her. This is back in the early 1960s. And it was just like my favorite memory of my grandmother is sitting in that chair. And then another chair came along. It was a doll chair that my great aunt had, and she used to collect the real Cabbage Patch dolls. It was kind of weird, but and the dolls used to sit in this really child-sized chair. So I'm going to try to put pictures up here so that you can see these chairs, what they're like. And then as an adult, one of my neighbors was an artist, and when she died, her husband came over because I had seen her painting a picture of a chair that she had sitting out in the yard. And it was beautiful. I thought that this is just so unusual. I didn't realize art could be ordinary, everyday things. So her husband came over and gave me the picture that she had painted of the chair, which I also hope to get into here so you can see it. And Linda Daly actually commented before she knew anything about me talking about Morris chairs. She had commented that Morris chairs make great stitching chairs. I think they'd probably be very expensive, but I'm going to go to some of the thrift stores, and we have a very large, like, furniture thrift store on the Cape, and I'm going to go there and see if I can find one there. But it would be really cool to have my stitching chair be a Morris chair, because that will carry the tradition, and maybe my grandchildren will take my Morris chair. But I thought it was very cool that Linda happened to comment on Morris chairs, and I had already planned to put it in this week's FlossTube. But anyway, from there, what I want to talk about is the things that are on my stitching pile to start. So my new starts, which will most definitely be next week. So as I mentioned before, I'm a mail carrier, but even before I was a mail carrier, I was what's called a mail enthusiast. At the height of my mailing, I would be sending 100 pieces of mail, letters and postcards, every single week, and I was getting that much back. It got too expensive, so I don't do it nearly like that. But I found this on some, I must have got it off of eBay or something, and I want to stitch this one here, the mailbox, and I do have somewhere in my stash, I do have that postage stamp that matches. So I will try to frame it with the postage stamp there. And the postage stamp is actually canceled, which is even cooler. It was actually used. So that's just going to be on white Ada. I'm not going to be fancy with that. I'm going to get that started next week. Really excited about that. I have a couple of other postage stamp ones. I'm always on the lookout for that. And then the next piece that I'm starting next week is the name of this FlossTube video, Winter Cometh. So this is the companion piece to Autumn Provides, which I had started and I showed last week in my FlossTube. I think this is probably my least favorite of all of except for the fact that it has a crow. I love the crow. But the whole idea of Winter Cometh, all the other ones have like an uplifting, message on it, and this is Winter Cometh. It sounds very much Game of Thrones to me. But it's pretty. I mean, it'll be nice. It'll be nice. And I'm going to be stitching that on this really cool fabric I found. French Cafe Mocha, 28 count linen. I don't think this light is helping at all. There we go. So, I think it's just going to look really cool on that. Very organic. It's not quite the color that was pictured. The color in the picture is quite a bit lighter. But I really like this fabric. And it feels like real linen. It feels like something you would make a summer suit out of. It's gorgeous. And the next one is another saying that I really love. No winter lasts forever. No spring skips its turn. It's a very simple stitch. This is Silver Creek samplers, and it is going on the called for fabric, which is Picture This plus 28 count tarnish, which is perfect, I think. Absolutely perfect. I really like it. It's just gonna look perfect together. And I had the fabric, and I remember buying the fabric for a winter project, and this is about a year ago, and then I couldn't find it, the pattern, and I ended up buying this again, and I think I'll probably, the original pattern will probably show up. And then lastly, for my new starts, I have Lizzie Kate's Winter Alphabet. And the reason I'm doing this is because my new theme for 2023 is alphabets. I'm going to be doing this on a Swigart fabric. It's Mystic Gray. For whatever reason, a lot of my winter stitches are on gray. Not always gray here on Cape Cod, but that's what I chose to do my stitches on. But the whole idea of doing alphabets, and I still have, of course, this is winter, so I'll have spring, summer, and fall. Not necessarily by Lizzie Kate, maybe by other designers, but I love the idea of alphabets, and I would like to find like a French alphabet where there's pictures of, French not French items, but items with their French name rather than the English name, like, A is for, I don't know what a French word is. I don't speak French. But I'd like to find different languages. I just think I have a big, long stairway in my house, and I just think it would be cool to have them all on the stair on the way up, all these different alphabets and many different languages. I think it'd be really cool. So that's my theme for 2023. That is the first that I've bought. I don't have any other alphabet stitches so far. I'm going to try to be a lot more selective than I was when I started with my seasonal collections, because that got a little bit crazy. And there was one thing I forgot. So, once upon a time, I used to buy wine for the label, for the bottle label, because I would take the label off and I would make postcards out of them. The fabric that I'm stitching the square dance on, it's called 90s Nirvana, as in the band Nirvana. And I bought the fabric with no project in mind, just because of the name. And the same thing with a skein of floss. It's a week's dye work, and it's called Clockwork, and it's orange. And I thought, oh, that's so cool. However, I will never do a Clockwork orange stitch, because that's a horrible book. Well, I guess it's a good book. It's just that it's way too violent for me. So, not something I'm going to stitch up. But I thought that was cool. And there's another week's dye work that's called Cape Cod that I'll probably have to get just for the name. But anyway, I will put all the details about all my stitches down below like I did last week. And again, I want to thank everybody for watching and for commenting. It was just such a wonderful week reading all those lovely comments. And I will see you all next week. Bye.